What was the difference in the series?
They were able to win when they didn't have their A game. I thought that was, a couple games at home there, game 2 and game 5 the other night. I thought they found ways to win. So give them credit. That's what it's all about this time of year. It doesn't have to be pretty. That they were much more opportunistic than us. If you look at some of the games, you go through it. I mean, it takes a while to dissect it, Joe, but game up here, we had a good chance to get a lead, and we hit a post with an open net the other night. Could have extended our lead, missed some chances. So I think some of that they did better than us, whether that's their shooters were better or their goaltender was better, or probably a combination of both when that happens in those situations. And then at the end of the day, you could see it a little bit. Our back end got thin, and it was a challenge for them. So specifically tonight, I think in parts in game 5. So some of that was, personnel driven back there, where we lost key guys in our penalty kill. Became a factor in game 5 tonight. Didn't manage the puck very well, and some of it was by guys that play a lot for us, but got up to us. So that didn't help as well, and they were able to stay relatively healthy. So that makes a difference.
Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Coach, I was just going to ask if you could give us an indication of exactly what Tuukka was dealing with.
No, he had an injury earlier in the year he was dealing with, kind of one of those nagging ones that the medical team will assess it at the end of the year. I mean, a lot of guys have gone through it in the playoffs. He was healthy enough to play. It just, he wasn't 100%. I can't answer whether he was 95 or 92 or whatever. I mean, we talk to him on a daily basis. He's ready to go. We've been very upfront with him. We gave him time to heal in the middle of the year, and we would have given him time to heal from game to game in the playoffs if that was necessary. So this was the communication I thought was excellent. He's our starting goalie, and he told us he was ready to go, and that's that. So that's where it's at, and only he can tell you going forward. There may be surgery, there may not. That's, like I said, that'll be his decision, and the medical staff's decision, and that's what happened with Tuukka.
Pluto.
Bruce, they gave you so much trouble at 5-on-5 in terms of generating chances. Where did you see the problem areas in terms of trying to get through on their D?
Fluto, I can't hear. The door's wide open. Was it tonight or the series? Or
Tonight.
Can you repeat that?
Sure.
For us to generate them offensively?
Yeah. Why was it so tough for you to generate 5-on-5?
Oh, they're a good defensive team, first of all. So let's start with that. They play well in this building. They played a better defensive game in this building than they did in ours. Why that is, I don't know. Sometimes it's just the energy, the juice of matchups. There's a bunch of different things that could go into that. I think they knew tonight that if they locked it down, that give them the best chance to win. They probably didn't want to get into a trade chances type of game. And they have good defensive players. Like they're a little bit underrated in that regard. Like, the Pageaus of the world, you don't hear a lot about. He does a good job. There's a reason why they employ him against Bergeron's line. Pelican, Pulak are solid. I mean, I thought our line certainly had their moments against them, but up and down the lineup, they do a good job. And I think they manage pucks clearly better than us. So we're not getting those free chances that they got tonight in terms of mismanaging pucks. So they do play a good game that way. They don't beat themselves. So you take that into effect. They have good defensive players. They play a structured system. They don't beat themselves. So the onus becomes on you to generate. And I thought tonight, at times we were able to go, and other times some things fell apart, low to high. We didn't get our shots through or find the right guy. Whereas the other night in Boston, we were able to do that. So some of it's on us, some of it's on them. But I mean, let's face it, historically, that's what they've done to a lot of teams, and they were able to do it to us tonight. Not throughout the whole series. We certainly scored some goals, enough to win some nights that we didn't. But tonight they were certainly full value for shutting us down.
Hags.
Hey, Butch, it seemed like tonight and through the course of the series, there were some issues there in the second period. You were able to pinpoint some of the reasons behind that?
Well, I think early on the second period, they've been a good second period team throughout the playoffs, and there was some line change stuff early on where we didn't sort of take away the quick up Hags, and we changed as a group of 3 as forwards instead of one guy holding. We identified that early. They did that to Pittsburgh. We had to live it a little bit. And after that, I can't go through every game because I just think the momentum is when you forecheck well and get a team hemmed in the second period, it's tough to turn the tide. You need your timeouts to reset. And that's what happens to teams in the second period. Once they get behind sort of the territory game, it's hard to catch up. And then for us, at times we did, at times we didn't. And tonight down there in the second period, let's face it, we mismanaged pucks, Hag. So I don't think that could have happened in any period, that when you give them point Nelsons, that they're too, listen, you don't want to call them gifts, but they didn't, that was on us to manage the puck better in those situations. So I don't think the period mattered in this instance tonight, to be quite honest with you. It was just us not managing the puck well enough to beat a team that, that pressures the puck well.
Matt Porter.
Bruce, how tough was it to keep them, from getting to the front of the net? I know tonight was, like you said, more about kind of turnovers and mismanagement, but just was it tough to keep them from getting in front of the net? And then how close were Carlo and Miller to playing in this game?
Well, I thought we did. The two goals they got from the front of the net were rebounds that came right back out, and our D were there. One, we had good position, but the puck got by McAvoy right to Sajak. And listen, those are, when we talk about tracking issues with goaltenders, those are the ones they just have to stick to you, or the rebounds have to go into the corner when they're coming in from the point. Now, sometimes there's traffic. Yes, you don't pick it up to the last minute, but that's what we talk about a little bit. And a couple of those squirted back out. And the other one, Grizz, I think, kind of tried to get a hold of. Corral, he didn't, and Palmieri's right there. So I think in those situations, we were there with our check, Matt. We just didn't, again, manage the puck from the rebound or control the rebound in both. So in that regard, credit to them for getting it there. It's one thing their D does very well, as they get their shots through from the point on a regular basis. And that's been an Achilles heel for us all year. We've worked hard at it, but it hasn't been there on a regular basis. And that was part of the question going back to Fluto, the 5-on-5 offense. You have to generate from groups of 5 in the NHL nowadays. You can certainly get your rush chances and here or there, but your D have to contribute and be able to get some pucks through to the net, find lanes, find sticks for lanes. You have to be willing to get the spacing right. So again, that's what they've done well. But today I thought, they got rewarded for it, but some was on us not clearing the puck or controlling the rebound, like I said. And as for Carlo and Miller, I don't think Brendan would have played Game 7. Miller was skating and had an opportunity. We'll never know now, so I don't want to speculate and speak for Kevin, but he was trending well that if we're able to get to Game 7, that he had an opportunity to play. Carlo, no.
Dan Roach.
Bruce, how much did Charlie going down there in that second period? I think he was off for 6 minutes. That absence, how much did that kind of snowball things on your back end too?
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a missed one there, obviously. And it happened to be against the guy we rely on to play big minutes. Charlie came back. I don't know if there's residual effect of that hit. He finished the game, but the spotters take him out. So that hurt. Like I said, it was, a clear infraction that got missed after the play. And we could have used him in that 6 minutes, but did it make a difference in the game? I can't sit here and say it did. He came back and he played. We just have to, in those situations, you got to rely on other people to step up and get the job done while he's gone. That's it, Dan. That's playoff hockey, and we've done that with other guys being out of the lineup throughout the playoffs in the regular season, and that's the ask, and we weren't able to get through it.
Last one, Kevin Dupont.
Butch, you've touched on some of this with a few answers, but as a whole, your opinion of Tuukka's performance tonight, overall, and also specifically second period.
Well, listen, it wasn't good enough to win, but neither were we. So this isn't on Tuukka. Kevin, you lose Millers and the Carlos, guys that play minutes for you, and other D come in. Other people in the lineup have to pick them up. They have to do their job, whether it's the forward scoring more goals or the goalie keeping the puck out of the net better, or we defend better. And it's a mix of all those things. Of course he could have been better. And as I alluded to earlier, there were some rebounds, and that we could have, as a whole, cleared or controlled better. Could have started there, but we mismanaged some pucks and put them in bad spots as well. So this is a team loss. To me, all the way down the line. Certainly could have used some, more scoring out of certain people in this series. You can do the math on that. I thought our power play was good. It gave us some opportunities. The top line generated well. some of the other, people needed to score more if we're going to allow that many goals, right? So that's a bit of the formula of keep it out of your net and win 2-1. But if you're going to give up 3 and 4 goals, then you better be scoring 5. And we weren't able to do that.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.